Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Hello, everyone. A big warm welcome wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. We are delighted to be live streaming here at USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm our host today for the show, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck and the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedl, will be joining us momentarily. Today's topic is Meat Matters, the carnivore diet. We're going to touch base with Roland and find out what happened with his water fasting. It's always exciting to hear the progress and then the key learning experiences and opportunities. Roland is a entrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's a coach. He's an author. He's a mentor. He's an advocate for men, and he is a dear friend. Let's welcome Roland Friedl from somewhere in Europe. Hello, hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to see you again. Hello. Thanks for having me, and hello to our audience, wherever you're joining us. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. By the way, I really enjoyed the episode from last week. It was in German. So how cool is that? I know that you have your own platform. I forgot to mention that. Tell us a little bit about your platform, and then we'll get into today's topic.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I started a platform on my own last year. And the reason for that is USA Global TV and Radio. We did this amazing Wild at Heart show, this men shows. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe on the YouTube channel and look for USA Global TV and Radio Wild at Heart. So we had an amazing show with men from different parts of the world. And then my idea was to do something in German because in my region, because I'm from Austria, we speak German. I found out that men sometimes have problems to. Actually, for men in general, it's difficult to talk about their emotions. It's even more difficult when it's not in their mother language. So I decided to do a platform in German where I interview men who do men's work, and it's quite successful. We are growing. We have 43,000 viewers and more subscribers. So it's a platform where I started with interviewing men, and the interesting thing is that almost 70% is women who watch the channel. So maybe they want to know what we're doing or what we're talking about. And then women came to me if I can interview them about their work. And now the channel is going in a little bit in another direction. So we're going to speak to or interview people who live the same lifestyle like myself, meaning work and travel. And it's called Wireless Life Rock. So that's a platform it's called Roland Media. My name Roland Media on YouTube if you want to check out. Yeah, but I'm also very, very passionate about nutrition. That's why I'm very happy that we do this show together, Dr. Jacalyn, and give people, without finger pointing, some advices to stay fit and healthy, because I strongly believe that health is the most important thing in life.
Absolutely. And you are a testament to that. So thank you so much. And always continued best wishes with your platform, Roland Media. Roland, when we saw you before, you were doing water fasting. And I think you were, I would think you were about 2 weeks into it. You were going into the third week. What happened?
Yeah, actually, my plan was to go 28 days on water fasting. But then I had an invite to a retreat. A friend of mine, it's called Rewild Your Life, a men's camp. I was invited to come there, and to be honest, I wanted to cancel and on to focus on my fasting, but then the organizer, who's a friend of mine, was his birthday on the last day of the camp, and I said, okay, I have to show up. So, and for me, it was a little bit more than 4 hours, almost 5 hours drive, and during my driving there with my motorhome, I found out, oh my god, I'm a little bit dizzy. I got some problems with my blood, with my circulation. I got dizzy, and at the camp itself, we did a lot of martial arts, archery, getting in the forest, collecting firewood and stuff like that. So it was really man's camp. It was exhausting, and I felt, to be honest, better, worse and worse, and I get a little bit more dizzy and stuff like that. So when you black out, and so I decided to stop the water fasting and eat something there at the camp. So I was eating some bone broth and a little bit meat, and the energy came back. And my idea was that after the camp I go back to the fasting. But then I said, no, it doesn't make sense anymore. The 2 weeks was really fine. Was an amazing experience. Like always, I love to fast, and I will restart a fast. I guess in spring before Easter or something like that. So to make a long story short, I didn't go for 28 days. I went for 2 weeks, but it's fine for me too, because to be honest, I do it for myself. I don't do it to impress somebody or something. So I said, okay, it was fine, 2 weeks. I stopped it, and all good. I felt good. And for me, I to our audience, please, if you do it the first time, I talk about myself. When I break my fast, I have no issues to go directly to meat or whatever. I can eat whatever. I have absolutely no issues, because I have a lot of fasting experience. But normally, when you break a fast, you shouldn't go with meat or something like that. Maybe you just chew an apple or eat some soup with a little bit cooked rice and stuff like that. But so please don't follow my my routine. But I'm a very experienced faster, so I know what my body can do, and I know my body very, very well, because I'm really taking care every day of it. So I can go back directly to meat without any issues. But please don't copy this, especially when you fast for the first time. I want to mention that.
Yeah, that's important. Thank you, because we love to give education and awareness. So, question before we get into meat matters, today's topic. When you made the decision to break the water fasting, was there any feeling of, oh, I'm so mad at myself, or I'm just disappointed, or, I feel like I'm giving up and I came all this way? Because you really did go all this way. What were you feeling in the moment?
Yeah, to be honest, yes, I was disappointed. I wouldn't say I was disappointed about myself. Uh, I was thinking, was it a good excuse to give it up or not? Because until I left this place where I was standing with my motor, I really felt good. I was working. I was walking my dog 2 times an hour a day. I did a slow workout, I did stretching. I was working on my project, so I really felt good. But as I said, when I was driving my motorhome, it's a 7-ton motorhome, and it was really bit. I didn't want to. I didn't want to hurt somebody on the street because I'm dizzy or something like that. And I said, okay, oh my God, what shall I do? Stop and go back, or I go to this man's camp? I was disappointed, yeah, of course. But at the end, as I said at the beginning, there's nothing to impress somebody. I don't have to prove somebody. 2 weeks was fine. It was good. There was a reason to stop it. It was okay, but I was a little bit disappointed. Yeah.
Well, if you look at it another way, look how many days you did go. I mean, that's a major accomplishment. That's not something that I could do. So I really applaud you for doing that, and for following through, and also for listening to your body, and for also thinking about other people and how your actions could impact someone else. If you're behind the wheel, you're feeling dizzy and lightheaded, that you really were, caring and considerate about others as well. So bravo to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's more important than bringing a cool video on YouTube about my fasting 28 days. That's not so important.
All right, let's move into the topic meat matters, exploring the carnivore diet. So, I've never been a big meat eater. I will eat some kind of, I guess I'm going to say cow, right? But what I found is I feel so full, so heavy, so sluggish. I don't eat veal. I don't eat pork. I don't eat lamb. I don't eat buffalo. I could go on and on, venison. But once in a while, I will have a cheeseburger. Once in a while, I'll have something that my sister and I growing up, we called it slop, where you fry the ground meat and you put some
Yeah.
noodles and cheese and soup in there. Uh, and once in a blue moon, I'm going to say maybe in 10 years, I'll have a filet with some béarnaise sauce on
Oh,
the side.
okay. Okay.
That's nice. So, have you ever felt that fullness, that heaviness when you eat meat? You're kind of like sluggish. How are you reacting when you eat meat?
Well, we have to distinguish what I mean with eating meat. I only eat meat, so no carbs on the side, no potatoes, no rice, no pasta, whatever. So I only eat meat. When I only eat meat, I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel tired or fatigue anyway. When I eat meat with carbs, yeah, but it's not because of the meat, it's because of the carbs. Yeah. Yeah. But without meat, no, I have more energy. But I have to state something, Dr. Jacalyn, for our audience here. This is my personal experience. This is my body, and this is my nutrition. I'm thinking, so it doesn't have to say that it's working for everyone, because everyone is different. I strongly believe, and I've been many years, over 30 years in the nutrition industry, and I tried different diets. I was a vegetarian for 4.5 years. I was a vegan for 9 months. I went frugal for 6 months. So I keto. I tried different forms of diets, because I don't want to talk about things that I just heard or read about it. I want to make my own experience. And for me, the carnivore diet works very well for me, as I said, for me. But this episode, or this show, is not about to convince everyone to go on a carnivore diet. Not at all. It's just my personal story, and I know also friends of mine who have problems to digest meat. I have problems to digest carbs. I'm well on meat. Other people have problems on digest meat. So everybody's different. What I want to state, and as general, was what I always do when I talk about nutrition. I don't care about somebody is eating meat or fish or vegetarian or vegan. I don't care, as long, what I strongly believe is, you eat clean and fresh, meaning fresh stuff, fresh vegetables without herbicides, pesticides, non-processed food with any artificial colorings, flavorings, preservatives, just fresh, whatever it is. When somebody says, I'm fine with carbs, it's cool. If not, try something different. Uh, but for me, it works best. For me, it absolutely works best.
Thank you, Roland. A question that comes to mind is, sometimes if you go out to dinner, for example, the server will say, how would you like your food prepared? And some people say, oh, I still want it to be mooing. I like it to be bloody red. And other people say, I don't want any red in my meat. I want it to be cooked thoroughly through. What are your thoughts about this? Or is there any benefit one way or another, health wise, or maybe from some kind of E. coli or some other potential bacteria? It's good to have it all the way cooked through. Thoughts?
Well, good question. I mean, I very rarely, a very rare occasion, I go to restaurants, to be honest. I love to prepare my food for myself. The reason for that is because I don't buy my stuff at supermarkets. I buy my stuff at local farmers. Most, as I'm here in my home country in Austria, I buy it from my friends. So I know exactly the animals. I know how to treat them. I know only eat grass-fed beef. So meaning cows that are the whole year outside only eating grass, no grain, no soya or any crap. So just grass-fed beef. And my friends kill them, shoot them at home, and there's no slaughterhouse. There's no stress. For me, it's very important how to treat the animal, not only for the suffering of the animal. That's one point, of course, but the other thing is, when I eat this meat of an animal that is under stress, that is suffering or gets bad nutrition, it becomes part of my body, and I don't want this. So I take care that I only eat meat that I know from people I know very well. That's one thing. So, and I eat it medium rare because it's really fresh. So I'm not afraid that there are any bacteria. So that's a little fresh. I mean, when you travel, maybe, I don't know, to India, or I don't know, Southeast Asia, or maybe to South America, and you go somewhere on a street food, maybe I would cook it done. I don't know. I would eat it done, I guess, not medium rare, to be honest, because I don't know how it's eaten, where's the meat coming from, how it is stored, how old it is, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I love that you shared that you don't go out to restaurants very much. I don't cook at all anymore. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my life when I'll get back to cooking, because I really like to entertain and have people over. It's a lot of fun. So when you are preparing your food, are you eating meats at every meal? I mean, and now that you're not doing the fasting, how many meals are you eating a day, and are they primarily meat?
Yeah, normally I do intermittent fasting, so meaning I eat in a 8 hour window, sometimes in a 6 hour window, but mostly in an 8 hour window. So for those people who don't know what is intermittent fasting, 6 into 8 means between my last meal and the next meal on the next day, it's a minimum of 16 hours break. That's what I do. So I don't have a breakfast like most people. So normally I eat two meals a day. Normally two meals a day. So when I'm just only on a carnivore diet or even on a lion diet, there's also a slight difference, then it's only animal products. So no bread, no carbs, no veggies, no fruits, nothing, just animal products. That's what I do for mostly for 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. And then I change into keto, meaning I bring some mostly avocados in. I bring in fruits, kind of fruits, mostly berries. When it's possible, wild berries and some grapes. So I bring fruits in, and I bring also in honey, because when I go back to a more heavier workout, I need some carbs. That's why I integrate a little bit fruit, mostly berries, as I said, and some honey when I have a tea or something like that. But the rest of the meals is just animal based. Mostly, it's as I said, it's grass fed beef. Having steaks, having every day I have a steak, mostly rib eyes, because I try to have a high percentage of fat, not lean meat. I don't eat lean meat very much. Of fat. I need the fat for the energy, and yeah, just when I go on the lion diet, I only eat steak, salted, and I drink water. Nothing else. When I go on a carnivore diet, I also have eggs. Or what I got today, I got from a friend of mine. I got fresh smoked salmon from Norway. They sent me a package, so I got wild salmon smoked. So I will have this for breakfast. Meaning breakfast means for me around 11 a.m. I have breakfast, meaning 150 grams of salmon and 6, 7 uh, eggs, something like that. That's a normal breakfast. If I don't have salmon, I have 250 gram, meaning a half pound, a little bit more than a half pound of grounded beef, and together with eggs and sometimes a little bit cheese when I get some nice pecorino or something like that. That's my late breakfast around 11, and then the steak, as I said, mostly steak around between 4 and 6 p.m. normally. So if I don't have an invitation to at a house or friends for dinner or to a restaurant, I don't eat later than 6 p.m. That's what I
Yeah.
normally do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because then your body has all that time to process and then rest. I think that's one thing that I found confusing about other people I know who are lifting weights every day, like heavy weights, and they're eating 6, 7, 8 times a day. I just saw a guy interviewed, and he said he's eating between 3 and 5,000 calories a day. So that's a completely different program, obviously, than the one we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's possible for a person to lift heavy weights every day if they are not getting that many calories of protein? I imagine their muscles are not going to get any larger.
No, you can lift, but you're not progressing. You cannot pump up your muscles. It's impossible. You have to get the energy, of course, and not only the protein. You also need some carbs, because otherwise you really get tired. Yeah. It's not working only with protein. You need carbs. So I feel it when I go on a carnivore diet with no carbs with my workout. As I said during my fasting too, I do half of the weight and a lot of reps. That's working, but I want to push myself. No, I need some carbs, a little bit carbs. Yeah, absolutely. I need them.
What do you normally eat for carbs when you're doing that?
As I said, wild berries, meaning blueberries, raspberries, cranberries, stuff like that. A lot of berries. I love berries, by the way, and they're very, very healthy. And because I love to drink tea, I sweeten my tea with honey. And what I also love sometimes, when I have a craving for sweet, I have Greek yogurt with honey, and this is my carbs.
It's so interesting that you're talking about honey because one of our shows, which is Coexistence and Sustainability with Pet Psychic Amina, we just had an episode about bees and honey and how if you eat local honey, that helps protect you against allergies. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, local is a little bit difficult for me because I travel all the time. But I buy local honey. Yeah, when I was in Portugal, I bought local honey from from a Portuguese guy. When I was in Poland and on the border to Russia, I bought for the guys from Russia local. I always buy local honey. Yeah, of course. First of all, to support them, and secondly, I don't buy honey from the supermarket because I know that most honey in the supermarket is just mixed with a lot of the stuff comes from China. There is no really good control about if it's real honey or not. And I know that many companies are mixing it with different kinds of liquid sugar. So yeah, I buy it from small local bee. How to call them?
Beekeepers?
Beekeepers. Yeah, thank you for the word. Beekeepers. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I love them. I love them. If I will settle down, and I guess I will settle down in a few years on a piece of land, I guess I would love to be a beekeeper. Yeah, first of all, bees are so important for our environment. But I would love to have my own honey and take care about bees. Yeah, yeah, I would love to.
You be a hot beekeeper. That sounds amazing. We actually have one of our team members who is a beekeeper. So I guess that the benefits outweigh the risks. I don't know how you keep, I mean, I know they have the whole outfit. Well, I don't know what it's called, but I don't know. I would always think that somehow they manage to get in there and sting you. But from what I understand, when they sting you, they're going to die. So they don't really want to sting
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. And to be honest, it's a different topic. But when I moved into my motorhome, I was googling about if it's possible to bring a population of bees with me. I can travel with them, and always when I park my motorhome, I set them outside. They fly around, they collect whatever they collect, and come back. But they all said no, it's not working. Because I met a guy. Actually, it was a German guy. He was traveling with motorhome with 7 chicken. And he always put a fence outside because he always wanted fresh eggs. So he was traveling with motorhome with 7 chicken. It was funny. And I was thinking about bringing my own bees, but they said no, it's not working.
Well, how do you, if you were able to figure that out, how do you know they wouldn't fly away?
Yeah, that's the point.
You'd have to put like little tags on them or something and follow them.
Especially when you're staying a while, the police says, "Hey, you have to move." I say, "Sorry, I'm waiting for my bees."
They're part of my family.
Yeah.
Now, we do know how important the bees are to the environment. We've done a number of shows on our platform about bees. How important are the cattle and the steer and, wherever it is that the meat is coming from? I know people who love venison or they like buffalo meat. So, is there an opportunity or possibility of extinction for any of those animals like there is with bees?
Well, I mean, there's a distinction in the meat and stuff like that, and the quality and the taste and the cholesterol. But I know from my farmers friends who really work organically and very close and connected with nature that the cows are very important for the landscape. Absolutely. Because otherwise, if they don't outside and not only the cows, but also sheep or whatever, it's very important to culture the land because otherwise, yeah, it would be a jungle again, a forest again. If we don't want, if we want a jungle, that's fine. But they also keep it. Then cows are very heavy, so they always open up the soil, meaning the soil gets oxygen. That's also very important because when you see a farm, the farmer went with his tracker and is opening the soil again and again and mix it again. And when you have it in the mountain where it's just grass, just grassland, nobody is bringing oxygen to the soil. So it's the cow's work. So with their heavy feet, they're opening the soil and the soil gets more oxygen. So cows are very important for the landscape. But again, we have to distinguish with those one who run around free in the countryside. And there's a difference between those because cows got or especially the meat industry got a very bad reputation because of this mass production. This grass, these cows never see grass. They stay on in huge stables. Thousands of animals get fed by food that is very unhealthy for them. They are fed by grain or by soy and stuff like that. So really, their stomach is bloating up like that because it's not natural food for them. Absolutely not. But they do it because they grow faster. The meat is growing faster, but it's very unhealthy and painful for the cows, and it's not good for the meat. So we have to distinguish between industry, mass production, beef, for example, and those who live on the countryside is what we call grass-fed beef. There's really, it's not the same. There is no suffering for the animals. The meat is much better. And what I wanted to say in the beginning is, for me, it's very important that it's a good quality. As I said, for the animal, of course, there's no suffering for the animal. That's one thing. Of course, the die at the end. But hey, guys, this is nature. I mean, you cannot save any animal. I mean, when you look on a documentary and on the wildlife in Africa, of course, the lion is hunting an antelope. He's not harvesting asparagus or something like that. That's life, guys. Okay. But I strongly believe that the animal has to suffer as less as possible. Yeah. And that's the reason why I only buy meat from my friends. And even when I go, end of November, I go back to the south. I will spend the winter a few months in the south. I bring a lot of meat. I have a huge freezer in my garage, or my motorhome garage, where other people have motorbikes or whatever. I have a huge freezer, and I bring my own meat from my friends. Because, as I said, I don't want to suffer the animals. And the second thing is, I don't know, Dr. Jacalyn, if you ever heard about Dr. Yamamoto from Japan. He's a scientist, and he found out that energy is influencing everything around, meaning your mood and your thoughts. And he did a lot of photographs about crystals of water. So he was having, for example, a bottle of water, just tap water, normal water, or water from the river, whatever it is, water. And he was writing around peace or love, some positive emotions. And he made photographs of the water atoms, the molecule structure. And then he had water where it was hate and war and grief and stuff like that. And you could see it on picture. The guy's called Yamamoto. He was very famous, or still is very famous. And it was an amazing research he did, how there's an influence. Make a long story short is, our body is around 80% water. So the energy that is around us is influencing our cell water. Meaning when that's why people get sick, because when they're in a negative energy, why they get cancer, heart attacks like that. But it also is what you eat. So when you eat animals that are threatened under stress, killed and slaughtered under stress, like in the normal food industry, this animal meat, this water in the meat, has a different energy, or is absorbing, or is adapting a different energy. And then this energy becomes part of your body because you're eating this meat or whatever it is, or the fish or whatever. So that's why I don't go to restaurants very often. I love fancy restaurants. I love good restaurants. And I have some friends who are very famous cooks. And they invited me sometimes to their famous places just for free, but I never go there anymore because I see the stress in the kitchen. It's really stressful in this kitchen, and this stress becomes part of the food, even if it's a 5-star Michelin food, whatever. This stress is in the food, and this food with the stress becomes part of your body. That's why I don't go anymore, and that's why I'm taking care about the food what I'm eating. It's don't get the stress of the food. We don't talk about herbicides, pesticides in fruits, vegetables. We don't talk about this antibiotics and all this other chemical stuff in the animal industry. Just about the stress. That's why for me so critical that I know exactly how this animal is grown up, how it's killed and slaughtered. That's the most important thing. And I learned this in Africa many years ago when I was with the Maasai. When they shoot an animal, they try really to kill it with the first shot, and then they make a prayer to thank the animal. When his soul is wandering, we all know when you die as also a human being, it takes a few hours, sometimes 3-4 days before your soul is getting out of the body, meaning the life force is totally getting out of the body. And during this period, when this animal is dying, the antelope or whatever they kill in the Maasai, they do prayers for that and thank the animal. And that's a different approach. And I try to do this more or less the same. I thank the animal. Sometimes my friend called me actually next week. when I'm leaving this boat here, I go to his farm when he's shooting another animal, and I will be there and will thank for it. And what is interesting is, by the way, is he has a huge herd. Actually, we talk about this was the so-called black Angus, the smaller black cows. And interesting, when he shoots them or shoots one of them, he falls down, and the other cows are not panicking. They're even not reacting. They're even not moving their head. Nothing happens. So there's no stress for the rest of the herd when one of the animals is killed. And this has a huge impact on the quality of the meat and as I said, on the energy that you're getting into your body when you eat this food, this meat.
Roland, that is really fascinating. I've never thought about that before. I've never had anyone bring that up, but it makes a lot of sense. When you see some of these cooking shows and people going for Top Chef and whatever, the stress that people are under, and the yelling and the this and the that, and yeah, I can envision how that could go into the food, and then that could affect us. You had on a very interesting woman. I want to say her name was Maria, and she was in Spain. And I think she and her husband raise cattle, and they're grass fed. And it was there. I think we had them on one or two times.
We had them on the show. Yeah, they are breeding a very old form of cows. They called it the Dunker with huge horns. And I had the privilege to visit them 1.5 years ago. I was there and I saw the herds and the landscape, and they gave me a lot of the meat. And wow, yeah, it's really amazing. And you see that these cows are happy, and these bulls are happy. Yeah, they have a happy life, and you see that the meat is is a different quality than the supermarket. When you chew it, it's when I eat my rib eye steaks, I swear you can eat it with a spoon. You even don't need a knife. It's so soft because it's not stressful. And I remember when I was a student many years ago in Spain, when I was studying in a university in Salamanca, and it's in the middle of Spain. And Salamanca has a tauminica, meaning a bullfight school. So I went to these bullfights, and my Spanish girlfriend at the time, she went with bullfights. And then I had the opportunity because she knows some famous bullfighters. And when they kill the bull in the corrida, in the arena, what they do is the meat is divided and goes to the poor people out. So the poor people can get this meat for free. And I thought, can I have one? And I got this meat. It's like a leather shoe. You cannot even chew this. You need really good teeth, because this bull, when in this fear of dying, in the stress, thousands of people screaming around in the arena, all this fear is in this meat. It's hard to chew it, and it tastes awful. Even when I had from the same breed, from the same bull in Spain that was slaughtered or died on the farm, I had the meat, and it was totally different. There was no stress, there was no fear in the meat, and this from after the bullfight, you cannot eat it. And then I found out, oh my gosh, when I buy this meat from a meat industry, when I eat in a restaurant, the stress is always in. And then I understood my girlfriend when I was cooking. I love to cook, but sometimes I cut myself, and I'm cutting stuff or a knife, or when I burn myself on the fire or something like that, and I scream and said, no, come down. I don't want your negative energy in my food, you always said. And I didn't understand it in the beginning. And then I did a lot of research about energy. And then I met Dr. Yamamoto and his work, and I understood, okay, now I understand. You eat the stress with the food. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Question I have in reference to grass fed. Okay. So for people who are not familiar, obviously grass is important, and the cows are eating the grass fed. What are some other things that in the typical food industry that are fed to cows, to cattle, that might not be healthy for us to ingest?
Normally, it's not grass. Normally, they get different grains and soy, because it's much cheaper to produce soy. They get soya because soy and grains have a lot of energy, and so the cow or the bull or the cattle is growing much faster, because it's about making money, meaning growing the animal as fast as possible so that it's getting a lot of weight and then sell it. But this is not natural. So I think when you look at bull meat, when you buy a bull meat from the industry, it's a 1.5 year old. When I eat bull meat from my friends, it's 3.5, 4.5 years old. So the meat has much longer time to grow. It's much better. It's much better, and it's healthier for the cow. Really, the cow. I don't know if you ever see this, but when the cows are getting only grain and soya, they really have they're so bloated body, and sometimes they take I don't know what it is, a knife or something, and they really get into this cow, and then the gas comes out. Really, they just stick into this cow, and the gas comes out. They're so bloated because it's not natural food, and most people don't know it. Grains and soy and whatever is not natural food to cows. No, it's just grass. It's only grass. Yeah. So these animals are really suffering.
You bring up an excellent point, because I know myself, I can't eat soy because of my ulcerative colitis and allergies. And soy is in so many things. I don't think people realize that. And people are bloated, they're feeling sluggish, and it could be because there is some kind of soy or soy product in their food.
Yeah, absolutely. It's everywhere. The soy industry has a huge lobbying. I want to mention something for the carnivore diet. Why I'm into it. And because, to be honest, years ago I wouldn't say no, not too much meat, just veggies and stuff like that. And I changed my mind because as I felt it in my own body, and I did a lot of research on that. And because we most of us we believe what is said to us, that too much meat is not good, it's not healthy, the fat is not good, stuff like that. That's absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. And because there is a huge lobby behind the carb industry, because it's cheaper to produce whatever grains or whatever you want to produce. It's much cheaper, and then the meat industry. The meat industry gets a very bad negative image, as I said before. Part of it is their own fault because it's mass production, but it's a different way. But I did a lot of research on the things I eat. So first of all, I tried it on my own body, my own experience, and then I do a lot of research. And I found a study done in 1929. There was a study done by Dr. Stevenson in his hospital. So I don't know the exact data, but who is interesting? Hey, guys, do your own research. So if you don't want to depend on something else's opinions, do your own research. Okay, Dr. Stevenson. In 1929, he did the research on carnivore diet, meaning he himself brought them in the study group. He was also involved and was eating only meat for 1 year. And there was another guy who was an adventurer, a guy who went several times to the Antarctic, only eating meat. And they did blood studies and all this stuff. And they found out they had no deficiency in vitamins or anything else. What we have always been said, because when you only eat meat, you have a deficiency in vitamins and stuff like that. That's not true. And I can tell you why. I want to say that in 2020, so 4 years ago, there was a study coming out. I guess it was Yale University, and they said, okay, there is nothing that says that meat is bad, not at all. It has no influence on cholesterol, stuff like that, not at all. It's absolutely not true. Maybe your cholesterol is a little bit going up, but as long as your body is not producing any inflammation, meaning your cholesterol, your fat is not oxidating, it doesn't have any negative impact on your body. And this data came out, and then it was hidden. And then the carb industry, there's a huge agenda right now, veganism. This is all a huge agenda that is driven by some people who have a certain interest. And then the same university 4 years later brought out a study saying, hey, meat is totally bad. And I said, what happened in this 4 years? How much money went over the desk? But anyway, so when you eating just meat, and again, when you can digest it, as I said, some people have problems with meat. Maybe I want to tell something. It also depends on your blood group. I am seropositive. Seropositive is the O positive is the oldest blood group. We can eat meat. We are meat eaters. A is in between. They eat meat and carbs, and who have the blood, they're B. They have less problems than the A's and the zero, like myself, in digesting carbs, like grain, bread, and stuff like that. Okay. So I can digest meat very well because my blood, I'm zero. I'm sorry, zero positive or O positive. That's one thing. And the second thing is what is interesting is, because I'm a huge fan, I'm supplementing all the time with Just Plus. Since I'm eating meat, I need less vitamins from outside. It was interesting because I always thought when you eat only meat and not enough fruits and vegetables, you have to bring in even more supplements, vitamins, minerals, stuff like that. It's the other way around. And the interesting point I want to mention was really an eye-opener for me is when you eat meat, again, grass-fed grass-fed beef, organic, from the farm, not from mass production, okay? Not from mass production, like I do. Really healthy meat. And you also eat the organs, like the liver and stuff like that, where there are a lot of vitamin minerals. But you have no insufficiency of vitamin C out of one. And the reason for that is you need less antioxidants because you have less inflammations in your body, because what produces inflammation in your body is like all this acid stuff, like coffee and other shit. It's not the meat, that's not true. And it's the carbs. And you have a lot of examples when you go to YouTube, people who have really problems with high inflammation in their body, they go on a carnivore diet, not forever, for a few weeks, and inflammation is going down. And before I went to my Scandinavian tour, I was introduced to a really beautiful guy just here in Austria. And I don't know, we get in a conversation and he trusted me and we had a really cool conversation together. And he was baking his own bread and stuff like that. And I talked to him and I said, I don't know. I said, Peter, something is wrong with you. How you walk, how you move, how you talk. And I said, yeah, he has pain all day. He has no willpower, no energy. He really tries to survive from day to day. He is full of pain. He's full of inflammation. And I asked him, do you trust me? And he said, yes. I said, okay, please go on a carnivore diet, but please don't go to the supermarket. You know farmers around because he has his own farm. Go to Farmer Friends and buy grass-fed beef. And he went into grass-fed beef together with his mom. Actually, I guess Peter is 40-something and his mom is 70-something. So they went to on a carnivore diet, on a strict carnivore diet. And I was in Norway, and I guess it was 2 weeks on the diet or something like that. And he was typing to me. I said, thank you so much. My energy is back. My inflammation is going back. My pain is going back. I enjoy life again. And at the moment, so this was in first week of July, something like that. And now he's going back to integrate fruits again, veggies again. Yeah, so he's not staying in a carnivore diet, but it helped him to reduce the inflammation in his body and get rid of the inflammation. And that's what I wanted to say is when you only eat meat like I do, don't be scared that you have an insufficiency of any vitamins. That's not true. You need less antioxidants because you're producing less inflammation because you don't eating carbs. That's interesting stuff.
Absolutely fascinating. And guess what, my friend? Our show has come to a conclusion. So, who is a good client for you? Who would you like to reach out? And what's the next show about after this?
Okay. First of all, if you want to contact me, you don't have to have a challenge, an issue, or problem. I always love to connect and share with people. Whatever it is, when you want to share your nutrition experiences or your business experiences. So the best way is go to my website. It's www.rolandfriedl, my name, ROLANDFRIEDL.com. And then you see what I'm doing. It's available in German and English, my website. Just contact me if you're curious who I am, or if you want to share your story, or I always love to connect with people. That's one thing. And what are we talking about the next show? Actually, in a few minutes, we'll start with the Mallorca connection. I guess it's episode 102 or 103, something like that. And we are talking about why so many especially young men, are struggling today. What's going on with our masculinity in our today's society. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening. If you love what we are doing, please recommend us to your friends, share the channel, like the video, write your comments, get in touch with us. We are here just to support you and to talk about our own experience. We are not paid by any industry. I don't get paid by the food industry there. I just share my experience and try it out. And if it's working, it's fine. If it's not working, try something else. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. What a great way to close out the show today. So everyone, please do go over to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Radio, and also Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Please subscribe there. Also follow us on Roku, follow us on Amazon, follow us on Zizzle TV, and follow us on E360 TV. We're saying goodbye for now, but we'll literally be back, I think, in 15 minutes. So yes. We hope that you'll stay with us. All right, we'll see you soon. Roland, thank you for your time and for sharing your expertise as always. Okay.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.